Zimbabweans in South Africa have been handed another lifeline, but not everyone seems to be happy about it. Today we're unpacking what this extension really says about our immigration system, how a FlySafair court fight could reshape local air travel, and why Anglo says that decades of red tape have buried our next generation of minds. Plus, in the Wildcard, South Africa's ancient volcano that is hiding in plain sight. My friends, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss the stories that matter. And now, with all that out the way, let's get into it. So South Africa's long-running immigration debate has just got another extension. Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber has renewed the Zimbabwean Exemption Permits, or ZEP, until May 2027, giving around 180,000 Zimbabwean nationals the right to live, work, and study here while government decides what comes next. So for a quick refresher, the permits were first created in 2017 to regularize the stay of Zimbabweans who crossed during the country's economic collapse. Now, they were meant to be temporary, but after years of legal battles, court orders, and failed phase-outs, they've now been extended again. Now, under this new directive, ZEP holders can't be arrested, detained, or deported for lacking papers, and they can still enter or leave South Africa without a visa. Schreiber says it's a humane, lawful stopgap, while an immigration advisory board consults on a permanent solution. Critics like Action SA call it another act of indecision, arguing that endless extensions undermine border integrity and fuel resentment among unemployed South Africans. Supporters, though, counter that many ZEP holders have spent over a decade building lives and contributing to the economy, and that they deserve stability while policy catches up. Now, what's made this decision even more polarizing is that the same minister extending these permits is also leading Operation New Broom, which is this ongoing crackdown that's seen many undocumented workers arrested across the country. And so, in the end, it's a snapshot of South Africa's immigration dilemma, compassion and enforcement, all signed by the same hand. South Africa's biggest domestic airline, FlySafair, has just dodged a major deadline that could have grounded it next year. The High Court has paused an order forcing the airline to change its ownership structure, giving it time to fight the case properly in court. So here's the issue. South African law says that local airlines must be mostly owned by South Africans, at least 75% of their voting shares. But a big chunk of FlySafair is actually owned by an Irish company called ASL Aviation. Now, competitors like Airlink and Lyft have complained that this breaks the rules and gives FlySafair access to cheaper foreign funding. The airline, though, disagrees, saying that the shares are held through a South African trust and that the rulebook was never meant to block investment altogether. So in the end, this court ruling gives FlySafair more breathing room. But if it eventually loses, the fallout could be massive. I mean, with Mango officially winding down and only a couple smaller players left in play, one more grounded carrier could send local airfares soaring. South Africa isn't running out of minerals, it is running out of new mines. And according to Anglo American CEO, that is because government policy buried exploration before it even began. So in mining, exploration comes before the digging even starts. It's the stage where companies actually search for these untapped mineral deposits. And apparently that stage has just collapsed. South Africa now attracts less than 1% of global exploration funding, down from about 6 billion rand in 2006 to under 800 million rand last year. Now, the reason, according to Anglo's CEO, is because of 2 decades of unclear and unsupportive policy. We're talking slow mining rights, red tape, and shifting regulations that scare off investors before they even pick up a drill. Now, the result here is that mines age out, no new ones replace them, and then the next wave of critical minerals, we're talking gold, copper, manganese, is being discovered everywhere else except here. Government says that the fix is coming through a new online licensing system to speed up approvals and bring transparency, but until that's working, the country's mineral wealth, we're talking the jobs, the investments, the tax revenue that it could unlock, will stay right where it is, underground. And before we cruise on to our final Bagel Bite of the work week, here's a couple other headlines worth knowing. For starters, the Public Investment Corporation's investment chief has been suspended again after signing off on a controversial deal linked to the AO Technologies delisting, a company that's already cost the state billions. Furthermore, a whistleblower report dropped the same day, which just added fuel to the fallout. A newly proposed rugby league called R360 is offering superstar pay and a global roadshow. but it's not recognized by World Rugby. And so that means that any South African who signs up would lose Springbok eligibility, and local franchises fear a talent drain if it actually launches. And FNB is warning shoppers ahead of Black Friday, scams are getting slicker. We're talking fake SARS emails, cloned websites, heck, even crooks trying to sell FNB business accounts to foreigners. And so in the end, the rule stands. If it feels off, it usually is. Stay safe out there. And on to our final bagel bite of the work week. Let's end it in the win column. Let's see what you got. The question is, which video game franchise has sold the most copies globally? Is it A, Tetris, B, Call of Duty, or C, Mario? We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And on to our wildcard section. If you've ever been to Pilanesberg Game Reserve, you've technically been standing inside a volcano. You see, long before tourists or even elephants, reportedly about 1.3 billion years ago, the area was actually a massive active volcano that erupted, collapsed in on itself, and slowly eroded into the circular valley that you see today. And so what's left is the Pilanesberg Alkaline Ring Complex, only one of 3 perfectly ring-shaped volcanic formations on Earth. So over time, the crater filled with rivers, bushveld, and wildlife, creating a natural amphitheater nearly 25 kilometers wide. And from above, the ridges still draw the outline of this ancient volcano so clearly that it almost looks carved by hand. So today, lions roam where lava once flowed, and herds cross the same curved valleys that once held molten rock. It's a place where deep time and present just meet. A fossilized volcano quietly reborn as one of South Africa's most visited parks. So yeah, South Africa technically does have a volcano. It's just an ancient one that happens to be full of rhinos. And as for that bagel bite, the answer is Mario by a mile. Across 4 decades, the game franchise has sold over 950 million copies, outpacing every other blockbuster franchise on Earth. Hey, not bad for a game about a plumber chasing mushrooms and jumping on turtles. And my friends, that's it for today's show, and that is it for the week. Now get out of here, have a fantastic Friday, a cracker weekend, and I'll catch you all same time on Sunday evening. God bless.